I'm Jim.
I'm Dave.
And we are doing suicide prevention. Suicide is the act of ending one's own life, and it is quickly growing to an international dilemma. Nearly 1 million people worldwide annually commit suicide, and approximately 30,000 people are reported to commit suicide in the United States.
In the United States, boys 10 through 14 years of age commit suicide twice as often as their female peers, whereas teenage boys 15 through 19 years of age commit suicide 5 times as often as girls their age. And men around 20 through 24 years of age commit suicide 10 times as often as women their age.
Although the reasons why people commit suicide vary and are often complex, they happen to share the same common factor. The most common factor perhaps being depression.
We want you to know that everyone has those down days and everyone gets depressed.
But in the end, you're not alone.
Now let's see what other people have to say about suicide.
I would never do it.
It's not good, that's for sure. Suicide should not happen.
I think it is preventable, just try to watch for the signs and make sure that if you see them, you try to get the person help.
There's probably a lot of people who think about it from time to time, but probably only a small percentage of those actually take some action to do it.
But the thing to keep in mind, being my age and having gone through different cycles of life, is that, things will always get better given time. And so I don't think that it's a means to an end of anything, Anything you go through in life will always get better, And you learn that the older you get and the more experience you have in life.
A comment that you'll often hear is like, gosh, I never would have suspected, never would have thought. And so I think along those lines, the thing to remember is the signs are not always going to be obvious, and a lot of times you'll hear about people who have committed suicide, how they just seem so happy, like right before it happened, almost like they had made that decision, and it just took a load off their shoulders. And so you've got to be very careful in terms of picking up on those things, and it's not always going to be intuitively obvious, and you almost have to know the person on a much deeper level to see the beginning signs of something like that.
I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that's going around, like, just like the economy and all this kind of stuff that's just happening, that people are just feeling like a lot more, I guess, into it, but not really. Like, just there's a lot going on that they feel they can't handle anything that's going on, and that, I guess, that's their problem solving for it, I guess you'd say.
I would give them the advice to not commit suicide, that there's always quite often we all go through periods where we're a little depressed, or we have rough days or rough weeks or rough years, but life turns around. Being alive, even in bad conditions, is better than being dead. Being here is just a joy. It's just a pleasure, something that we should all delight in and take pleasure in. And oh yeah, even in tough times, go through it. Work your way through it, learn the lesson to be learned, and go on.
So if you're depressed, hang in there. Things are going to start looking up.
And remember, everybody has those down days.
Everyone gets depressed.
And
but
in
the end, you're not alone.